Hi guys, I'm Angie, and this is.
I don't know. She's got me so baffled today. I have no idea who I am or actually what I really do anymore. Harold Jones, John L. Scott.
If you know this man, please call. He'll be wandering the streets.
So the big discussion is, and we've switched from sellers for the moment. I think Angie's settled down on the seller's point of view,
Yeah.
and now we're discussing buyer's point of view. And the reason we're doing this is because her husband,
Yes.
and we'll just leave it at that, her husband has started looking around for the property that he's dreamed of, which is great. I think that's outstanding to be, first of all, in a position,
Yeah.
let's be truthful up here, in a position where you can do that, and he's looking. So, was telling me about all of these parameters that she's got to have.
My checklist. We talk about
Her
checklist.
checklist, but it's got to be perfect. And I know I'm the odd one out here. There's very few things that we're ever going to encounter that's perfect.
Well, I mean, but if you have 5 things on your checklist, you at least want 3 or 4 out of 5 of your things on your checklist.
I'm not going to be combative today. She has a checklist of 5 and she wants 10.
I mean.
So there you have it. So, and I'm not really picking on let's go with Vinny today. I'm not picking on Vinny.
So you're hurting my feelings.
But this is the thing. All buyers go through this.
Yes.
Especially if we get to look at more options and we get to look at more properties. Sometimes more doesn't help with solving the issues.
So I was having a conversation with Harold, saying, man, like, I sometimes, like my husband will send me posts and like, what do you think about this? And, and so I'm like, like, I guess, you kind of almost have that settling it because our tastes are different. But then it becomes, well, at what point, because I was telling her, I think when you know, like if you see your house, if you can see yourself living there, then I think that's at least one of your choices, or I wouldn't say the one, but it should be in your top. If you can say, you know what, I really like this property, I can see myself in the kitchen. I try to think like, I can see myself in the kitchen, I can see myself in the living room, or doing laundry in this room, But if you look at a house and you're like, well, I mean, I guess, or I mean, yeah, just because it meets the other 3 boxes, then yeah, I wouldn't go for it.
Don't, and what I'm going to say to that specific statement is, and we've addressed this before, don't force yourself into a situation.
Don't buy for the sake of buying.
When you don't love it. Because you're going to be there for a while. Even if you're not, you're going to be paying for it. So I totally get it. Definitely, if you can see yourself there, you really love it, and you want to make it work, I would say that's fine. But we'll fall back to one of our other short conversations about being influenced by outside. There's a lot of things that come into play.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm showing a property tomorrow, and it was for a couple. Then I was notified that a friend of theirs was also going to be there. Now, the last notification I got, the whole family's going to show up. So I'm going to have my hands full on this one showing.
Yeah.
And
talk about outside influences, right?
About definitely. No, I mean, we're kind of having fun with that. that's a lot of pressure for a buyer because you're trying to make everybody happy,
Yeah, especially if they really like it.
especially if they're family.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes with just a friend or something like that, or somebody who's going to help advise you on it or give you their point of view, which would be my job a lot of the time, you know, you can push that aside. But that's hard to push aside
Yeah.
every Christmas,
Yep.
every holiday, every get together, all of those birthday parties, which seem to be endless anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think, hopefully as a buyer, and that couple, like I said, even with myself and my husband, is sitting down, and I said, even though we have different tastes, it's like, okay, what are like I gave her a list. It was an extensive list.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a short list. It wasn't, of the stuff. He asked me, what do you want in your next property? And I'm like, I should probably have my husband do the same thing and see what kind of things match or coincide with each other, because
See what things are common.
but I know what the biggest thing for my husband is. And so, I told her, if he's sending me things that don't have that, part of me is like, well, let's not entertain it again for the sake of just entertain, or buying just for the sake of buying. Like, if we're okay to hold off or buy, just, you never know what something is going to come up, but just make sure it's the one. Like if you need to get a family van and you're looking at a sports car, that's one of those things like, you said you needed a family van. Why are you looking at sports cars?
That was before you was married.
Right? Or before kids. I said
Before kids, before you was married. Yeah. And something she just said, which I really can't emphasize enough, is don't put off watching the market, don't put off looking, because what she said is absolutely true. You never know when that property is going to come up.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen tomorrow, it could happen this evening, and then all of a sudden, yeah, here we go, and we got to dance.
Yeah. Or you could be in the worst, well, I wouldn't say worst possible situation, but, let's say you found a home, kind of checked, 3 of the 5 boxes, and you're in the middle of this contract. Let's say you're under contract, and all of a sudden a new property comes up that's 5 out of 5 boxes. Now you're gonna have buyer's remorse. You're like, oh man, we should have waited. And I'm sure there's ways around and how to get out of certain things, but it's, just make sure whatever you get, that you're not gonna have buyer's remorse, or you could wake up.
You're gonna have buyer's remorse up to a point. Up to a point. Almost everybody does. Should I have bought this? Should I have bought that? I didn't really need it. I could have waited. So we all come up with the buyer's remorse. Something that Vinny said that I want to clarify. If you're a buyer, sit down and write down 10 things that you want in a property. Then give me the top 5 things that you want in the property. Then on the next column over, do 3 must-have items.
That's it, just 3?
And there you go.
I'm like, 3?
No, I say must-have to make the deal even, I'll even look at it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So you have 5. I've got your list, so I know what we're looking for. I know what. Let me rephrase that. Let me backtrack, because I know better. I have an idea of what you were looking for at that time that I received the list. It's all changed now.
Probably. Like you can see one, and then you're like, well, let me adjust this a little bit, or let me
Well, the
compromise.
interest rates went up. Well, the prices are coming down. Just keep your eyes open. Pay attention. have fun with it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not under a time frame situation where things have to happen. That's a whole different game, okay? But if you're not, then you actually get to catch your breath and actually look around and find what you're looking for. And if at all possible, do it that way. That makes everybody happier. That makes it more fun to do.
Yeah.
And you'll get through it, and you'll find what you want. You really will.
And hopefully you don't stress your agent out too much where they lose hair, you know? I think I'm the root of his problem. I think I'm what caused it.
Could have been, but I'm not going to say a thing. We're looking for a house, so I'm just on drive here. So anyway, I think those are all good items to think about, and almost every buyer is going to go through that. So don't worry about it, is what I'm saying. Don't worry about it. It's what everybody does. Everybody goes through it, and there'll be highs and lows. You'll be clicking your heels and celebrating, and then you'll have the rug pulled out from under you if you don't get the deal. So just kind of enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah. And I'll share my journey with you guys, because right now I have the hat on of a seller and the hat on of a buyer. So I'll share my journey with you guys.
And all I got to do is live through it.
What other hair do you got to lose?
I got nothing to lose. Okay, that's it.
Thank you guys for staying tuned with us.
Thanks for joining us. Hopefully we will always be able to give you something worthwhile.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.